Yesterday, the NFL released every single team's individual schedule for this upcoming season. So with that comes the Eagles schedule. And with that comes Eagles hate. So I figured, why not put together the complete haters guide to the Eagles schedule in 2023. Let's get into it. What's going on, you guys? This is your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. So with the schedule coming out, I wanted to go through every single game and give you a quick little overview and preview of what we will be facing each single week. Now, before we get into that, be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. We are on the road to 10K. We would love for you guys to join that ride. But let's hop right into it, man. The Eagles start their season on the road against the New England Patriots. The Eagles are a lifetime 8-7 versus the Patriots and 1-1 in the Super Bowl. If you're keeping count, I know I am. Also, they are 4-5 on the road against the Patriots. This is going to be a really good game. I mean, look, it is Tom Brady Day, so I'm hoping that the Eagles can spoil them and make them a little bit upset on Tom Brady Day. They're going to be celebrating his career and everything. Maybe they'll show Brandon Graham's strip sack. I doubt it, but I will. It is what it is, though. Also, beyond just Tom Brady, Juju Smith-Schuster. Look, if you are a social media influencer, if you have a TikTok, now is the time in Philadelphia to get, well, it's going to be in New England, but now is the time to go ahead and get those clips of TikTok boy going wild, right? I doubt that he's going to do anything against the Eagles as far as production goes, but maybe he gets to dance, right? Maybe he gets to dance in front of Tom Brady, and maybe that does something for his TikTok algorithm. But this is a game that I think that the Eagles should be able to go out there and start the season off on a high note. The Patriots are not a terrible team, but Mac Jones has been very inconsistent along with that offense, and the defense as well has been pretty inconsistent. So unfortunately, Juju, I don't think your addition is going to put the Patriots over the top. Now, in week 2, the Eagles finally get to go home. They have a Thursday night football showdown against the Minnesota Vikings, who are they are 15-15 lifetime against the Vikings, and we are 11-7 at home versus the Vikings. This is going to be another good game. Obviously, the Vikings went up. They had a good year last year. They went to the playoffs. They lost to the Giants. It is what it is. I never thought that they were as good as a lot of teams were making them out to be, but you got Kirk Cousins over there. You got Justin Jefferson. Now, Justin Jefferson is going to be a guy I'm going to be watching. Last year had over 1,800 yards, and the Eagles were able to hold him to 48 yards. I believe he only had 6 catches, and that was only one of 5 games. I believe one of 6 games, excuse me, that he was held under 50 games. Again, like I said, over 1,800 receiving yards for Justin Jefferson. It's going to be interesting to see if he's able to duplicate that type of production this year. Obviously, I don't want it to be against the Eagles, right? Now, that's not what we're looking for. But no, it's going to be interesting to see what he's able to do. Now, Kirk Cousins is a guy that I know a lot of people bring up his prime time success, so I'm going to go ahead and do it for you right now. He is 4-5 in his career on Thursday night football. So will he be able to go ahead and make that a 500 record? We will see. We will definitely see, but I do not fear at all the Minnesota Vikings. I feel like ever since that Super Bowl run that we had and how we embarrassed them, how they try to do Skull next to Rocky, I think they've been cursed. So I'm excited for week 2. I got the Eagles starting off 2-0. The Eagles get shown a lot of love in this schedule, having back-to-back primetime games, going from the Thursday night game against the Vikings onto a Monday night football game versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It will be in Tampa. If you guys know, I live in Tampa, so I will definitely be at that game. Now, the Eagles are it's a wash. It's a 10-11 record versus Tampa Bay, and they are 4-5 in Tampa. When playing in Tampa, the Eagles are 4-5. Now, I know a lot of Eagles fans remember the shellacking we took in the playoffs. It is what it is. They will end up losing to the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs this year in the wild card. So we'll see what type of team they are. I mean, Tom Brady's no longer there. They do bring on Baker Mayfield. We'll see what Baker Mayfield's able to do. Look, I looked up some of his stats. And on Monday Night Football, we like to talk about these prime time numbers, right? Baker Mayfield is only 1-4 on Monday Night Football. He has only 2 games with over 200 passing yards in those games, and at least 1 interception in every single Monday Night Football game he's played in, except for 1. Now, the Eagles, on the other hand, when we're talking about prime time and Monday Night Football in specific, they've played 70 games that I was able to see, and they are 39-31 of those games. History is starting to favor the Eagles to go 3-0. So I think that if you look at how this schedule set up, I think the Eagles can go ahead and be 3-0. Unfortunately, the Eagles have to play the Commanders, and, you know, I guess a lot of teams can say that. We had a nice little streak of 425 games, a couple, you know, prime time games. Now we go to our 1 o'clock game. Now, the Commanders actually account for 2 of our only 3 different 1 o'clock games. So they are 2 of our 3 1 o'clock games. I mean, that says something, right? People probably don't really want to watch the Commanders, but it is what it is. Sam Howell or Jacoby Brissett, who are we going to see? That's going to be the big question here. It's going to be interesting to see. The Eagles are 12-8 over the last 10 years versus Washington. So, look, it's always kind of a toss-up. I feel like these games are a lot closer than they always should be. Every year I go into Washington thinking, oh, we should just annihilate these guys. I was looking for the best word to use. We should just go in there and destroy these guys, and it's always closer than I really want it to be. This should be a good game, but again, I think we can go 4-0 here. So I got us winning this one as well. On the road again. On the road again. The Eagles go back on the road, this time against the LA Rams. Now, this one is going to be interesting. I'm very interested to see how people paint the picture of who the LA Rams are. Now, obviously, they lose a Jalen Ramsey, but they still have a very solid team. And you add to that you're getting a Cooper Kupp finally healthy back. You're getting a fully healthy Matthew Stafford back. You're getting a rested Aaron Donald. Yeah, I think that this is a team that can make something shake, and I think that they're going to be a lot better, obviously, than they were last year when they really didn't have a lot of their players healthy and ready to go. I think that the Jalen Ramsey loss is going to be big for them, but I think that they will be able to overcome it. The defense is not that bad. So we'll look at the all-time records. The Rams hold the lead in the all-time record. We are 18-21-1 all-time versus the Rams, and we are 7-11-1 on the road versus the Rams. So if we can go out there and win this game, that would definitely help our all-time record in both aspects of it. But this is a game I could see us lose. I'm not gonna lie. I think a fully healthy Rams team could come and smack us in the mouth. You're not playing the top level guys in your first 3 or 4 weeks. You can say what you want about the Vikings if you think that they're going to be a top team, but I think this is a game that can maybe creep up on us and maybe smack us in the mouth. So I'm going to go ahead and give us our first loss. I'm not 100% in love with that, but it might happen. It might happen. Now the Jets. The Jets. Shout out to my nephew, first of all. My nephew, Jacob. He has been a Jets fan his whole life. As a youth, like when I was young, I tried to push the Eagles on him. My dad tried to push the Giants on him. We kind of let him make his own decision. He chose the Jets for some reason. I guess it was the best of both worlds. They're in New York and they wear green. So I guess he got best of both worlds. They finally look like they might have a really, really solid team. If you don't know, I'm sure you do, but the Eagles have never lost to the Jets. The Eagles have never lost to the Jets. They have won 12 games versus the Jets all time. Aaron Rodgers, though, himself is 4-3 versus the Eagles. So there might be a little bit of contradiction there, and in every game that he's played against the Eagles, he's thrown at least 2 touchdowns. So we've struggled, to say the least, against Aaron Rodgers. It's going to be a very, very interesting game. I don't know. I'm leaning towards the Eagles, and it's not because of history, but I do think that we have a very good team. And while they have a good team as well, they're young in a lot of spots, and I don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to be this year in that team. And it might not work out for them. It might not, gel as much as they want it to. So I'm going to go ahead and give the Eagles the win here. Again, this might change, and I didn't really come into this thinking I was going to give any record predictions, but why not, right? You know, so I'm going to say that the Eagles win this one. We'll see what happens with this. Aaron Rodgers, that addition is going to be huge, and they have a lot of really good players. Sauce Gardner, they got Garrett Wilson. They got a lot of really good players, so it's going to be a very interesting game, but I'm going to go ahead and give the Eagles this. You know, it wouldn't be a hater's guide if I didn't give you guys something to hate on, right? Next, we're heading right back to prime time. We're going against the Dolphins on Sunday Night Football. It's going to be at home. The Dolphins versus the Eagles. The Eagles are 6-9 all time versus the Fins, and the Eagles are 4-3 at home versus the Fins. So we hold the record there, and the Eagles have also won the last 2 matchups. So it feels good. This is another team that is going to be probably different from what we saw last year. We saw it in spurts, right? Because Tua was healthy in spurts, so we were able to see what they were going to be. But you got Jalen Waddle back. They got Devin Achane in the draft, if I'm not mistaken. So they have nothing but speed. You got Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, like I said, Devin Achane, depending on how they want to use him. If Tua's healthy, this team could be a totally different team from what we saw last year when they were just kind of so up and down. When they were on, they were one of the best, if not the best offensive team in the league. But when they were off, it was something to watch sometimes. I'll tell you that right now. It was definitely something to watch. This is a game that I think is going to be a lot of fun. If healthy, I think the Dolphins might come in here and beat us. I'm not going to lie. I think the Dolphins have a really good team. So I will give this one to the Dolphins. We'll see what happens there, but I'll go ahead and give it to the Fins. I'll give it to the Fins on this one. Now we go to our next 1 o'clock game, right? It's at the Commanders. Will be in Washington. Hopefully they get some extra barriers up so nobody dies from their stadium falling apart. But I already talked about the Commanders. We'll see what happens with that team. But just to give you the flip side, I gave you our home record against the Washington, whatever their names are at this point. But the Eagles are 41, 45, and 3 on the road against Washington. So maybe a little bit of flip. Maybe this is something to be concerned about. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I don't think so at all. Going on to the next week, the Philadelphia Eagles host the Dallas Cowboys. Now, this one I'm excited for. I actually am, because maybe we get finally a healthy quarterback one duel, right? We're at home. I want to see Dak versus Jalen. I want to shut everybody up. They've only played one time. They've only played one time against each other. Dak did win that game, so I want to even it out. I want to even it out, shut the Cowboys fans up. So tired of hearing 8-3, man. I really am, but I'm excited to see this game, and I'm hoping for a healthy game. Now, as far as records go, this is going to be interesting because it doesn't really tell us anything. The series is tied as far as playing in Philadelphia. It is 31-31. Nobody has the edge there, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. And then Tony Pollard, it's going to be interesting to see how he's treated and if he is their lead dog and how that looks. I mean, the Eagles definitely struggled against Zeke Elliott throughout his career in Dallas, which it's not out of the realm of possibilities he goes back there, but still, Tony Pollard is a totally different type of back, and it'll be very, very intriguing to see how Philadelphia is able to handle him. Well, you've made it to the bye week, so maybe just take a second, hit that subscribe, hit that like. Thank you. All right, so this is the one a lot of people have been waiting for. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I do not care about regular season wins, but this is a win I definitely want to win. You know, I just want to get to the playoffs, and I want to run back February. But we get our chance to get a little bit of redemption, during this season. We go ahead and we go to Kansas City. We go play the Chiefs on Monday Night Football. I don't have to say how big this game will probably be for Eagles fans, especially if we are what we think we are going to be this year. I think that, like I said, I don't think that I have to say how big this game is going to be. So I'll look at the records, the all-time records. We're 4-5 versus the Chiefs all-time. We are 3-2 on the road. When we go to Kansas City, we are 3-2 against the Chiefs. And they lost a good amount of people. I'll be real. They lost about 5 key contributors, but they're still a very good team. This is going to be a slobber knocker. What is it that Jerry Lawler used to say? It's going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be, it's going to be a knockdown, drag them out type of game, and I'm excited to see it, man. This is going to be a bar. This is where you kind of test who you are and what you're going to be going into the playoffs. So, I mean, I think this game is going to be everything we expected to be. Obviously, the schedule makers agree because they put them as a Monday Night Football game. So, this is the one. Let me know in the comments what you guys are looking forward to in this game, and maybe a prediction. Maybe this is way too early to make a prediction, but go ahead and make one. Why not, right? Why not? Now, this little slate of games is going to be very hard. After the Kansas City Chiefs, so we just went against the Cowboys. We went to Kansas City. Now we come back home, but it's against the Bills. The Bills, another team that is definitely going to test our grit, test who we are. Obviously, they add the tight end Dalton Kincaid in the first round. They moved up to go ahead and get him. It'll be very fun to see how he's utilized in that offense. Maybe not fun when we play them, but throughout the year, it's going to be interesting to see how they utilize him in that offense. We are 8-6 versus the Bills all time. Now, this is not your father's Bills. This is not the same Bills that we've probably seen throughout those games, throughout those series. So this is going to be interesting. 4-2 while playing the Bills at home. So I don't know what to tell you here. I like Josh Allen a lot. I probably like Josh Allen more than a lot of people do, but I think that he's a very good player. You got Stefon Diggs out there. You got a very good team. I mean, that team is well coached, well put together. So this could be another game we lose. You know, I'm not going to lie. The Kansas City game, I don't think I gave a prediction. I'm going to say we win that game because there's just too much emotion. But this one, you know, you're coming off that high. You're going against the 49ers next week, which we'll get to. There's a lot, you know, a lot that can distract you. I'm going to say that the Bills go ahead and sneak this one out. But I don't think that it'll be a blowout by any means. I think that this is going to be a good game. But I think that they'll just ink it out. I think I got us getting like 3 losses so far. Not too unrealistic, right? Not too bad. Next, we go on to the 49ers. We stay at home for the San Francisco 49ers. This game, honestly, if we didn't play them last year, would mean nothing to me. It really would. I wouldn't care. I'm going to be 100% honest. But all the trash that they have talked in this offseason, all the excuses that they've made throughout this offseason makes this game mean something to me. I don't know about you. Maybe I'm alone here, but this, I just want to shut them up. Kind of like I was saying with the Cowboys, I just want to shut them up. Just get these boys out my face. Now, all time, they hold the edge. We are 6-11-1, excuse me, versus the 49ers all time. Obviously, the last matchup was that butt whooping we gave them. Now, this offseason, they added a familiar face to us. They added Javon Hargrave. So just run it down their throat. That's what I'm expecting, right? Just run it right at Javon Hargrave. They also added Sam Darnold, so I don't know who their quarterback is going to be. I don't know what their team is going to look like at this point. Obviously, got Nick Bosa. He's going to be who he's going to be as long as he's healthy. You have a good defense. They're going to do what they do. They were the #1 defense last year in scoring. So they're going to do what they do, man. That is a very good defense, a decently coached team. It is what it is. But I don't even know who your quarterback is. So until I know who your quarterback is, I ain't worried about it. Next, we have the Cowboys again. This one I'll keep short and sweet. The Eagles are 24-42 on the road versus the Cowboys. So, you know, I got them winning at home versus the Cowboys. This might be where, you know, we split. I would love to sweep the Cowboys, though. I'm not going to lie. I would love it. I would really love it. Would be interesting to see what these games mean towards the end as well. Now we get to the nitty-gritty of the season, down to the end of it. Seahawks, we're going to Seattle, so hopefully it's not raining. Hopefully it's not boring out there. So this is 2 back-to-back away games. Seattle obviously made the playoffs last year. Overshot a lot of people's expectations. I don't think anybody thought Geno Smith would be the comeback player of the year. I don't think anybody thought that he would have such a great year. I think leading the league in completion percentage last year. They're a good team, and they added some dogs. They definitely added some dogs. They got JSN. They got Devin Witherspoon. They got Devin Bush. They got Bobby Wagner back, right? Bobby's back. But no, so they got a good team, man. They have a good team. It's going to be interesting. We are 7-11 versus the Seahawks all time, and we are 5-5, excuse me, all time in Seattle. So no real, meter pushing on that, but I think we'll win this game. I think this is going to be a really fun game, but I think we're going to pressure Geno enough, and I don't think that they have enough on offense. And look, it's going to be Rashad's, coming out party possibly, or maybe his little revenge tour game. So I think that we etched this one out. I think that we're able to beat them. I just think we're a better team. So I got the Eagles in this one. Now, the Giants, I feel like they just forgot we had to play them, so they just threw them in at the end. We play them now, and then we play them at the end. So this one is at home. We are 52-38-1 at home versus the Giants. They added some good players. I mean, they added some wide receivers in the draft. They added the tight end from the Raiders that can't stay healthy, Darren Waller. But, if he can stay healthy, that's a good add. Deonte Banks, I think, is a really good player. They were able to draft him. I think he's a guy that can go in and make an impact day one as a guy in your secondary, most likely a cornerback. Maybe they want to use him in kind of like a Julian Love role. I don't know what they do with him, but I think he's a good player. I think he'll definitely impact that team. But I just don't think they got enough for us. I think we sweep them again. I think that we beat them in this game. So it is what it is. Giants fans, you can say, oh, you're sleeping on this, you're sleeping on that. It is what it is. Hit the snooze button, wake me up, because, I just don't see it, dog. This next game is going to be another one that's just emotional. I want to shut this man up so bad. Versus the Cardinals. We get to go out there and just smack Jonathan Gannon in the face. It's going to be at home, so he has to come to us if I'm not mistaken. And, look, all I wanted, I don't care. Obviously, I want to win the game. Let's win that game, yada, yada. That's cool. Just smack Jonathan Gannon. Like, when he comes to Philly, just yell at him. Just let him know who he is. Let him know about himself. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say, do anything. I'm not going to say that. But let him know who he is. Let him know who he is, Philly. That's all I ask. I might not be able to make that game. If y'all make it, let him know who he is. We're going to blow the Cardinals out. We are going to blow the Cardinals out. We are 29-28-3 at home versus the Cardinals. And realistically, there's so many trade rumors with that team. Who's going to be there when it's all said and done? You know what I mean? Who will they trade by that, by the trade deadline? So I don't even know who we're going to play towards that end of the year. So we'll see what happens there, but I think we're going to blow them out. And then we end the season at Giants. We end it in New York. They're 41. We are 41, 50-1 on the road versus the Giants. And, it comes down, will this game matter? Will we be in the situation? I think I predicted 3 or 4 losses. Will this game really matter? Depending on what happens in the NFC, will we have to really go out there and play our starters? They might go ahead and get an easy little win because we don't have none of our starters. And if I'm being 100% honest, I think our backups could still beat the Giants. We've done it before. I think we could do it again. So I think the Eagles are going to be very, very good this year. You guys can take whatever information you got from this, and if you want to hate, go ahead and hate. That's what this is all about. We are now getting into that time where it is time to hate. You know what I'm saying? So hate away, hater. Hate away. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Y'all know what it is, man. It is fly, Eagles fly, and we are out here. Peace.
Eagles fans everywhere. This is for you.
Fly, Eagles fly, and we on the team. Touchdown, touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season here, really time to do him in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.